So welcome again. Yes, okay, perfect. You can hear me. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Omar. All right, so today we have 45 minutes. What I want to do is go over the platform in general, but really focus on the earnings momentum. We are a truly unique platform where we have many analytics and variables that help you get a great stock picks very quickly. So when you land on the platform, you get a choice of looking at macros, sector, earning momentum, timing momentum, and so on. So I can click on earning momentum. I get straight to a list of top 20 names immediately that I can look at. So what is EM? What's that earning momentum piece? So first off, you can go into the knowledge lab here. So the knowledge lab will open that page. You have a full video on earning momentum here. So a ton of video on YouTube, but we can click on earning momentum and then you have a full explanation. So in short, what it does, it for any earning day that you see on the chart, first you'll mark the earnings day of every single stock. Second, you have a score, EM24. So that score is really between minus 50 and plus 50. Everything that is positive is great. Everything that's greater than 20 is absolutely extraordinary. And the closer you are to 50, the better. Everything below zero, in my opinion, are stocks that you can just pass. Maybe don't focus your time on it. And so your first question is, how do we calculate the EM, right? What is it based on? So it's all kind of explained here, but I'll show you in a second. So what we do is we take the earning per share, we take the sales, we take the profit margin and the free cash flow of the company, and we calculate their growth. So what I will do is I will launch a widget called Earning Analysis, and you'll understand. So let's put in the corner here and remove the chart. We don't need the chart right now. So this is the earning analysis for the company. So we have earning per share. So this is the last earning per share produced by this company. So actually, let's pick an example like Palantir, for example. Click on Palantir, and this is what we have earning per share. The last earning per share was 0.16. The one before was 0.9. And the one before that, 2 years ago, was 0.05. So the growth was 0.05, 0.7, 0.8, 0.8, 0.9, then 0.1, 0.14, 0.13, 0.16. So the company is growing very strongly. So this is the the growth from 0.16 to 0.9, so the 1 year growth, right? This is the growth from the previous quarter to 5 quarters ago. This is 2 quarters ago from 6 quarters ago, this is 75, and so on. So here you can clearly see the growth. Everything above, of course, 5, 10, 20% is amazing. So here we have 77%, which is truly insane. And then we have the acceleration. So this is all the acceleration for this current year. And for this last quarter, which happened on the 4th of August, we have an acceleration of 15%. So it did decelerate the previous quarter. It did accelerate 2 quarters ago, but it's accelerating again, right? So that's it. That's really interesting and something that is really unique for a company. So that's earning per share. But then we can go into sales and do the same thing. See if they're selling more. So they're selling way more. From 39% growth, they're now at 48% growth. So in sales, and the acceleration is 868. So we had 2 quarters of deceleration, but yet now it's accelerating again, right? So that's pretty interesting and something to note. So what we do is we take the earning per share, the sales, the profit margin. You can do the same thing on profit margin. So 63% growth in profit margin, accelerating profit margin. That's what you want to see in a company. Free cash flow, 419% increase. So free cash flow is very erratic. could be up and down a lot, and so free cash flow is a little bit less of a I mean, it's very important, yes, of course. So they're generating a ton of free cash flow here, but the acceleration and change are somewhat erratic. You see minus 300%, plus 200, plus 200, but overall, it looks like the pace is upward. So you can either go and look at all those numbers thoroughly, and you can, or you can just rely on the EM, right? So the EM is on the chart. So let me pull up a chart. You can click on this little triangle to navigate, and then pull up a chart. And on the chart, you click on models, and then you just add EM. So it'll draw the EM on the chart. So I'm going to click here for focus, and that would put the chart on full screen. And now I'm going to look at the progression of this stocks over time. What was the EM before? What was the stock price? And can we see some sort of a pattern? So here we have a minus 5, minus 10, minus 10, minus 14, 1. So it starts being positive here. It's $7. So right there, it's already an interesting name. 3, 2, then minus 3, then 7, then minus 6, and all of a sudden 24, right? So this is on this quarter, and you notice when you hover your mouse on it, you have the EPS change 60% and the sales change 20%, right? So you don't even have to go to the matrix, but you can go to the matrix if you want to. And then from then on, the stock just rallied and rallied and rallied. Now, what you can do is you can add these data below the chart. So, for example, I want earnings per share, sales, profit margin, and free cash flow. I can add all 4 of them at the bottom, right? Make some space here. And you can see them over time. You see how they evolve over time. So try to catch out 24 here, right? So see increasing all the time, sales, increasing all the time. You don't see it because the scale is tilted here. There's a massive jump here and an enormous jump here, right? So EM24 here and here. As far as sales is concerned, kind of same thing. I mean, this was a major turnaround. Profit margin improved. It went from 20-something to 32-something. And free cash flow is, again, erratic, but up and down, but progressing higher, right? So the whole point of this is not for you to go and look at the entire financial balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow summary. But the whole point is save you time. It took me 3 seconds to click here. I can see the top 20 name with the best EM, and then I can click on any of them, pay, AVDL, and I can see any metric here, and I can see the chart very quickly. And it'll kind of identify key stocks compared to ones that will just be a waste of time. So let me just remove some of those sub charts here. Let me know if you have questions on these so far. I know I might go sometimes too slow, too fast. Depends how people follow. But let me know. Anyway, so this is a very quick scanner that helps you hone in on stocks very quickly that have great EM. They also have a positive revision score and price change since the beginning of the quarter. Their quarter, the earning quarter, which is unique. So see here we see minus 20, minus 20, minus 18, minus 13, minus 19. All of a sudden 17, 29, and then the stock shoots up and actually breaks a high. So Sienna is all of a sudden awakening after, I would say, decades of sleepiness, but because of all the AI and data infrastructure, they're prime candidate for making more money. So your next question from there is, all right, so now I have about 20 stocks that I can find here. Great. Now, how can I go further and dig further and find more stocks. So first you can go into the monitor and customize your own view here. And you can have a monitor on the side. You can have a chart in the middle. You can have the earning analysis here. You can move it down or else. And you can have the basic or advanced quote. So the advanced quote you'll see has a lot of information. We have daily chart, intraday chart. We have red and green light type of signal that tells you all of what you need to know on the stock here. And then the earnings bucket is probably one of the most important one. You can see the earning per share change is 77%. Sales is 48. Acceleration is 8, 15. So it's all green here. This stock is just on fire, right? So this is the monitor, but let's go into the screener, because in the screener, what I want to search for stocks that are interesting for me, right? So I click on plus here. I create a new screen. So it wakes up with pre-filled with fields that are useful in general for everyone, but obviously you can change those fields. So the screener has categories, fields, column set, filters, and results, right? So categories here on the side, I can look for earning growth, or I can search for a specific field. So like EM, so earning momentum, right? So if I type earnings or EM, this is what I'm getting. So I can click here. It will show here as a variable. When I click on it, it will show here as a filter. The variable here is in a column. So these are the column set. So I can add the column here. It's added. And I can also filter on it, right? So one good filter to start with is to do 0, right? So I just want all the guys that have EM greater than 0. So right there, we went for 4,500 stocks to about 1,100 almost stocks. And you can see we only have positive number or green, really strong numbers here. So this is good. The second thing you can do is you can look at EM for the previous quarter, so Q-1, and EM Q-2, so I can look at the EM on the previous quarters, right? So some things that most of our clients do is they take EM Q-1 and they expect that quarter to be negative, like a negative EM, right? So then you would say EM Q-1, so you click on this one to activate the filter, and then you would say below 0, so you expect a negative Q-1, and then all of a sudden it turn around because the EM is improving. From -14, it goes to 8, from -2 it goes to 3, from -19 it goes to 13, and when you click on the name, you have an improvement in EM. So not yet in the price, but maybe. Looks like the price is kind of turning around a little bit here. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the things you can do. Or what you can do is you can have an opposite view and say you want the EM to be positive at least for the previous quarter, even for Q-2. So I click on Q-2 and I put a 0 here as well. And then I filter, and therefore I only want to see positive EM several quarters in a row. So for example, this guy has been 5, 2, and 27. So if I look at the chart over time, we get a 5, 2, 27. So the chart is kind of dropping a little bit here, but I mean that's because of this stock, right? And I'll show you in a second why it's dropping. You actually have a revision score, a negative revision score, which makes it is clearly one of the things that the market is looking at, and hence the stock dropping, right? So that's one of the things you can do is filter by Q1 or Q2. I can remove those filters if I want by just clicking on the X here. So I click here and here, and I just keep the EM greater than 0. The other thing that you can do is you can choose sequential increase in EM or sequential decrease. So sequential increase, I want the EM to be increasing for at least 2 quarters, right? So now I can see at least 2 quarters of increase in EM. So Archer and Aviations is a good one. We see -22, -6, +4 now. but it looks like a lot of red here, including the revision score. So although the EM is improving, it's still challenging on the estimates, right? So that's good. Maybe I do a little parenthesis on the estimates, because it's key to understand the earnings and also the estimates. Actually, this is a good segue. The earning estimates revisions. So those are the estimates forecasted by Wall Street. So I'm going to focus on earning per share. So let me just enlarge this chart a little bit. This is the stock price in red, and in green, you have the earning per share revisions from Wall Street. So as you can see, it should shut up and then down and then up and now down. So as it is down, the stock price is down. So although they produce good numbers, right? So if you look at earning per share, actually this was negative, but we can look at sales. I guess it was positive. It went from nothing to something. But both the earning per share and the sales revision estimates are negative, right? Heading downward. So if I pull up sales as well, sales is the yellow line, is heading downwards. So those are estimates from Wall Street that are pushing the name down, because basically Wall Street is revising down their estimates. So get this, the EM is looking in the past, meaning it's an actual number out of a quarter that just finished, but the estimates is looking forward, right? So that's why you might have good EM, but yet price might go down because of those estimates. So that's why you have this combination here on the advance quote, where you have that combination of really earning momentum, earning per share, and sales, right? So this is really important to understand this concept. Now, how can I illustrate it? Very simply, I'll go in the monitor and I will look for the following data set. EPS revision score and sales revision score, two numbers here. So there's another set of two here. You see that Z, this is from Zacks Financial, this is from FinHub. So there's two different sources. So that it's better to have two sources than just one. So it's a group, it's let's say a sum up numbers of all of the earning estimates for earning per share and sales estimates from Wall Street into just one line. So you can see this line is pointing upward, but should I put up, let's say a Microsoft, for example, it was downward and then upward. See how the revision estimate is pointing upward, so is the price, who is shooting up. All analysts revise their estimate up, and it's an up line to the sky right now, with a little bit of a drop. And that drop is, again, you see that earning per share is also heading downward here. That's why you have this little drop there. So the earning momentum is really in conjunction with the revision score. Both of them should be positive. So we can go back to our screener and make it a little bit more complete there. So first off, I can go back to my earning growth category. And what I can do is I can first have my Q1 and Q2 if I want on as a column. I can be selective and ask for 2 quarters in a row, positive, increasing. I can have it decreasing if I want to. That's you have sequential decrease in EM. Any field that you click on, you can click on definition, and then you have the definition of the field. So this is very, very, very useful. And the other thing that you can do is if you focus on sales and earning per share, you can look at the growth and be specific. You want this number, minus 12.5, to be positive, and you want to enforce it. You really want to be positive. So you have the ability to do this current quarter compared to 4 quarters ago, the previous quarter compared to 5 quarters ago, and the before non-recurring item earning per share which is a different version of earning per share, or the street version 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, or the average 3 year street, or BNRI 1, 3, 5 year, or the average BNRI. So there's two estimates to earning per share. One is before non-recurring item, and this one is also before non-recurring item, but specifically with items for tech companies like stock options that are removed. So it's a bit more refined. So you can use this one if you want, but BNRI is fairly similar. So I can be very stringent there and say, I want 10% growth, right? And now 10% growth, and now I go from 1,000 names to 395 names to 366 names. So I can do this. I can do the same thing for sales. I can do the same thing for acceleration. It can go very deep, and you can really customize this. You can have several quarters of acceleration, sequential positive EPS acceleration. So that means I want 3 quarters or 2 quarters of acceleration. Let's call it 2 quarters of acceleration add, and this is what I'm getting. I'm getting now 172 names. Okay, so now we can look at those names. Maybe you can do a filter on market cap, and I can use the schedule. The slider bar here, and say 2 billion market cap, and now I have 66 names. So now Antero Midstream Corp, and let's look at the chart. The chart is heading up. EM is 12 minus 15 minus 7, and now 4, and it's heading to a top here. So heading up there. What else can we look at? Sienna Corp. It's all green here. The chart is, again, up to the roof. We've seen that earlier. CyberArk Softwares, same thing. Chart is up. So we get all good names ready to break out, really refined. And now you're not wasting your time. You already focus on 66 names. Now, if you like those names, you like Sienna, you like CyberArk, you right-click with your mouse and click on Add to Monitor, and you click on your Great EM Score, which is the name of the monitor. I'm going to click on Sienna as well, Add to Monitor. I can add to, let's see if it's added to the monitor. So you can refresh the monitor here, and there you go. You have all the names that you've selected. So back to the screener, very powerful. I'm going to save this screener. I'm going to call it like EM. This is saved as EM now, and now I have several screeners, screener 1 and EM. And I can carry on screening for this. But the other part of that, and again, if you have questions on this, let me know right now. We can go over it again. But yeah, go back to your monitor. I suggest you look at the EM, you look at the revision score right at the bottom. And then the next thing you can do is figure out what is this category here. This is the timing, right? So let's go into the timing signal and pull up timing momentum. So timing momentum here is this big, colorful indicator at the bottom that is really regrouping 5 different metrics into one. So you don't have to waste the time with all the technical indicators, and this is just one that just summarizes it all very nicely. So you see where all 5 of them here turn from red to green, and they're all green, and then it rallies all the way. You also have the Powerday here, which is a signal for a long-term, fairly long-term, at least several days or weeks of trend, on the uptrend. And it's heading there. It's displayed there, the 7 standard deviation of move here, and we see the rally there. So the Powerdays here is the number 4 here. We have the relative market rank slope, which is the RMR, which is relative strength. We have the price momentum, so it's the slope of the price momentum. So really, is the price heading downward or upward? We have the trend, so it really is the trend up or consolidating, it's yellow what's in consolidating, or down, it's red. So you can see like it's red here. We have negative Powerdays here, here, all showing heading down. So trend is kind of consolidating in the last 2-3 days. Price open is heading down. The RMR, which we can explain a little bit later or in another video. This is the relative strength. So any number above 75 is great. That means that the stock beats 75 of all the other stocks in the last year. That Powerdays is negative, and it's a fairly volatile period. So this timing momentum is very important because it helps you focus on positive trend, negative trend, or consolidation. I can look at Sienna now, any other name, and well, guess what? Looks like it's up. So we got an amazing EM29. Look at the earning per share. So the estimates revision here is shooting up like never. We have a positive and then a negative Powerday, and then finally, this is a typical bull bear battle from the Powerdays, where we have 2-3 days of battle in a row. This is pre-earning, first 3 days. Then you have the ring earnings, then you have the day of earnings, and the day after earnings. And the winner, the bulls. So the bulls won because it ended up with a green P, and then there's been several days, and there's another green P here, green Powerdays, which pushes the stock, and we're heading for several weeks of gain here. At least several days at least, or maybe several weeks if possible. So very quickly, I can put all those characteristics into the screener and look for names that are positive in Powerdays. So I go back to my screener here, and I can look at Powerdays, Powerday, and Powerday trend. And Powerday trend, I want it to be positive or positive pending, which is just turned positive. So this is what I'm getting here. So if you don't know what it is, you just go to Powerdays in the lab, and then you have full explanation of what it is, what it does, why is it useful, where does it come from, how it's mapped on the chart. It's all in the knowledge lab. So Powerdays positive. I might want to have the RMR. So RMR is again, you click on the definition. So this is the relative market rank. It captures the performance of the 12, 6, 3, and 1 month and rank them against all the other stocks. So it's between 0 to 100, 100 being the best. So what I want here, I want all the stocks that have, let's not be too greedy here, above 70, between 70 and 99, right? And then what I'm getting is good guys there, really. And then I'm 25 names already, so I'm really, really stringent on filters here. So maybe maybe I'm too stringent. But now I'm starting to really get great names like Amphenol, AMPH, APH. Look at that, all green. All green thing. We have a chart that looks like it's going to the moon. We have, great earnings showing all greens here. It's a beat on both earning per share and sales. You get both margins and ROE improving. You get a PE of 46 and 36 going forward. The PE compared to competitors is, on the upper end if you compare to others. But here's the thing. All the others have a 12, 13, or 16% growth, except COHR. This guy has 20% growth, right? So a PEG of 228. So that's interesting. So we can go into many other things here, the balance sheet, income statement. You can quickly have a look at this. You can look at the matrix. But we can carry on with this. So the RMR, so now I have 25 names, and then I can look for a trend. And I want that trend to be consolidating or up, which could be a possibility. And there you go. So I have 25 names here that are in positive configuration. I can add the price momentum as well to be really, really stringent. But these names are pointing upward, amazing EM. Did we filter on revisions? No, we didn't filter on revisions. Let's do this. Revision score, and we have the earning per share revision or the sales revision. So I'm going to go for earning per share revision. I can go for the percent change or the value change. I prefer the value because it's compares equals to other stocks. You can see some negative names here, negative points. So I want to remove those names and only focus on the best positive revision score. So what is it exactly? You have several choices here. You have the revision score 7 days ago. You know what? I'm going to put all those columns up and current quarter. Okay. So you have let me just, if you have a lot of columns like this, well, first off, we can remove the name, which takes a lot of space. And second off, you can flick to freeze mode, panel mode, and freeze mode. And that allows you to just have the column display a bit more better here. So when it says E day, so from earning day. So this is the revision score change since the earning day. This is from 90 days ago. This is from 7 days ago. And this is from the current quarter, right? The current calendar quarter. So one of the important things is since the earning day, of course, because this is where new financial numbers came out, and this is what you want. So this is what I'm getting here. I want E day, earning day here, and I want it to be positive. So greater than 0. Actually, 0.1. All right, so now I have 20 names that are that match all our criteria. I can save that, and I call it best stocks, right? And I save it, right? Now it's all saved, and off you go. I mean, you just click on one, have a look at it. You can see clearly earning per share is to the roof with an acceleration of 200%. Sales is acceleration of 24, 22, really insane. Profit margin is exploding, really. I mean, improving a lot. So looks great. The chart looks amazing. We can pull up a bigger chart for that. So Calix, look at this. It actually doubled in 3 months. And sure enough, you get a nice 3 power days in a row here telling you that it will rally for quite some time. See that EM was kind of weak here, which is interesting, but now it goes to the roof at EM19, which is truly out of the ordinary here. Couple of negative days here, but then we have a renewal of uptrend with the positive P here. So it looks like all green from there. So that's one name, and we can pick another one here. I don't know. Hecla Mining. Look at that. This went from $6 to $10. EM28, 30. This was interesting. One main holding, EM1, so it just barely got positive. 2 negative days, and then a negative and a positive day, so one battle. But it looks like it's a positive going forward. It's all getting to green, except the last 2 days were a little bit down. But yeah, and we can put the revisions. Very important. Pull up the revisions. And let's pull up the revisions, the earning per share revisions from the 2 different sources. So you'll see, conflicting. Well, not conflicting. Hopefully they move in tandem. Yeah, they do move in tandem. Almost. This one moves slightly higher up, faster. So yeah, we have a renewed interest from Wall Street. We have a positive EM and price going higher. Click on PFS. Provident Financials, same thing. EM from 6 to 26. We have a great Powerday. We have amazing 3 Powerdays in a row here, going higher and pushing the name. So, very, very, very nice names here. Okay. So I can look further and look at news, for example, on these names. So I can pull up the news at the bottom here. Oops. All right. I don't know. I'm not going to do it. There you go. Pull up the news at the bottom, and it will take the news on PFS or AMX or AMPH, right? And I see the news for the day. I see the important news. So one thing you can do is you can click on plus. It will filter for all the positive news, all the double positive news. So those are news that are very, very important. So it goes by minus, negative news, double minus, very negative news, or plus, or double plus. And what we can see here is we can see 4 billion new credit agreement. They're acquiring a company as well, so we can click on that. I'll look at the news full screen. There's an NK, so we'll look at the AK, and there's an acquisition. There's a 2 billion unsecured, and I guess there's another 2 billion secured. So you can look at the news from there. So news is here. You can also filter by topic. So, you can say, give me all the topic about earnings or analyst revisions. So, we have these topics here: analyst review, earnings, financials, trading. So this is positive analyst outlook in July, which is important, right? Because guess what happened after that, right? So that was the 24th of July, kind of about here, right? Right before earnings, or actually, what was that day? Yeah, it was just after earnings. So it was on that day, and it was $100. Now it's $119. So it's important to follow what analysts are saying for the name. Really key. Okay, so we went into the EM. Kind of went on a tangent here, but you now have a screener of 20 names that you like. You can, as I say, you can click and add to monitors if you want to. You can look at them in monitors, and you can do further analysis on them. One of the analysis, don't want to go over it that far today, is the drift. So this is the projected stock price for the next 90 days. So the way it works is maybe just make a little space here. So we calculate the drift 90 days based on 20 quarters or 40 quarters. And we tell you with a degree of confidence. So here its accuracy is 73%. So 73% of the time, it will fall inside that range. You can see here that it's going outside of the range, which is great. And we can also see historical occurrences of each of the quarter, and this current quarter being this one here, based on 40 quarters or 20 quarters. So 20 quarters would be this data. So just pinpointing this one here, this quarter, some tough. There you go. Right. So yeah, the current quarter is really on the upper end of all the previous 20 quarters. And we're heading to be outside of the drift here. But if you go back to our regular name, like the Microsoft or the Palantir or these guys. So Microsoft is below the drift, which is interesting. And yeah, so, and by the way, you can also see the drift here painted on the chart. So it tells you where Microsoft is, where the drift is. You get red points, yellow points, and green points. Red points, yellow points, and green points. You can see that it's heading there. Accuracy is 30%. And And so this is really, really useful, and a lot of our clients are using this. So I covered a lot of things here. I was wondering if you guys have questions. Cover the drift, didn't expect to cover the drift. But have a look at the chart. You have a ton of things here that you can pull up. You can always pull up a monitor, but there's a lot of signals and data sets and things that you can populate on the chart. For example, I can look at the RMR, which is very powerful. It tells you if the stock is in fashion or not. And here it's 98%, so it's the highest level ever for that stock. So, of course, Sienna is rating, but CYBR here, CyberArk, same thing, 90%, still room for improvement, but it's been 1 year of rally, really. I can close that. I can focus on the full advanced quote. Then you should be in good disposition to get super powerful stock picks for you. Very quickly with the screener. Let me know if you have any other questions. We're in the last 5 minutes. I hope it is and was useful. Let me know any questions. I'll stay connected a minute or two. Forget to mention, we also have the chat here where you can all chat with each other. There you go, the chat. And you have several room, bronze, silver, and gold room. We have a question, what is the difference between the old TM score and the new one? So the old TM score that we had on the previous iteration of the app was incorporating, so let's pull up the timing momentum here. Let's put up Baidu, for example. Let's pull up the timing momentum. So what we had in a previous iteration of the app was was two things. So first, it was the difference between the stock and the overall market. So call it the RMR here. So it was not exactly the RMR. What it was the ratio of the sector in the index. So this one. So this is telling you if it's outperforming the index or underperforming. So red underperforming, green outperforming the index. This is what we had in the previous iteration. We also had moving average indicators. So call it the trend was part of it. So the trend plus the outperformance here were the two most important items of the previous iteration. As you can see here, it has been improved tremendously. The relative market rank is even more precise because it's comparing all stocks with one another and ranking them. So it's the relative strength. So it's basically the split of money. So think of it of investors have a big pool of money and they're splitting the money into investing into one stock versus another, or several stocks versus others. So it tells you where the money goes, which is slightly different from an outperformance of the index, but it's more refined. And then we have the Powerdays and the EM50 2050. So this is this EMA is the ratio of the 20-50, not the ratio, sorry, the spread between 20 and 50. When a 20 is above, it's green. When it's below, it's red, green, red. So this one is a more, this one is very, let's pull up ASML. Yeah, this is also European stock. Let's see. Well, how about we go to our little Palantir. This last EMA, so exponential moving average, 2050, is always very constant, right? It's always the least erratic of all, because sometimes you have trend that lasts several years, like this one, green, green, green all the way, which is what it is. It's pointing green almost all the time, except in that little window here. And so that's good. Powerdays also is fairly stable. We don't have the Powerdays there, but here we have it now. And it gives you really good indication of where you have a positive trend. So here I have a positive trend, and it goes on, then negative, then positive again. So yeah, I mean, so it's way more sophisticated than the previous one. So yeah, I hope you'll like it. Yeah, you should have good fun with all this. Any more questions? So don't forget to go to the Knowledge Lab, have a look at the models. There's a bunch of videos. You can go into a YouTube channel. There's more videos. You can look at various items here and learn about the platform. There's many more things to come, including AI. There's AI analysis for all the filings and the transcripts that are coming along. So you see it, AI Analyst coming soon. So yeah, I mean, a lot of tools are coming up shortly. So be ready. It will be fun. Thank you very much for your attention. And let me know if you have any questions. You can message us at support@epsmomentum.com. Send your questions, or you can just click on the chat here. You can chat with everyone who's in the room. The several rooms. There's also a support room here where you can chat. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask your question, and it should be fun. Okay, thank you very much for your time. I hope it was useful. We'll have more webinars tomorrow. We'll uncover many other things that are on the platform, but I hope it was useful to you. And I wish you a good evening and good rest of the week. Thank you very much.